to use the program MackinVIA. As long as you are logged into your Google account, you will be able to get to our Indian Mills MackinVIA account simply by clicking on the link in the description. If you click on that link and you are not logged into your Google
type of every resource that we have that makes up MackinVIA. If you notice over here where this blue bar is, there's 4 squares here. If you click on those 4 squares, it will change your view to just a view of the front of the item. If you click on it again, it will take you back to this view where it gives you a little summary of each item. Groups is different ways that we group items that we have. So if your teacher was doing a project on a certain topic, we might find all the items that are part of MackinVIA that might have to do with that. So here's an example. I've taken books that the library has genreified sections of, and I have created groups of electronic items that sort of fit into that. So for example, fantasy books. Here are 2 of the ebooks that we have that are considered to be fantasy books. Okay. It then breaks it down into categories. So we have categories of ebooks, databases, videos, and websites. So our ebooks, if you see on the top here, we have 166 ebooks at the moment. And you can just go through and see all of them. If you wanted to see them more quickly, then you probably would want to change the view, like I showed you earlier. Okay. We also have databases. So these are programs that the library has that you can use to complete research problems. Okay. So these are, we have quite a few actually. And you will get this little button down here that says load more. So these are all of our database programs.
We may add more sometimes. I'll walk you through how to use an ebook. I'm going to just open up one of the ebooks. Let's open up this ancient ebook. If I move my mouse over the cover above the book, and if I click on open now, this will open the ebook. The nice thing about MackinVIA is that you can open up your ebook and you can look at the entire ebook from the first page. You'll notice over here on the side of the file,
and let me say I wanted to look up King Tut, and then I would just click on the magnifying glass, and it will show me all the different areas of the book that have to do with King Tut. I can even click on it, and it will take me to that page. I can click on the magnifying glass again and go to a different page. And it usually either highlights it for you or it puts a red mark around it or something to give you an idea where the section is that has that information. If I click on the magnifying glass again, I can go back to the menu. MackinVIA also will give you citations. So for a bibliography, you can get all the citations for that book, and it will depend on what type of bibliography you're doing. Most of the time you're going to use MLA8. So you can't actually highlight it. You will have to go to EasyBib. And most of the time, everything that EasyBib, sorry about that, most of the time, everything that EasyBib has filled out, sorry, it was not on my internet for some reason, is fine. So you can just scroll on down, there we go, and then just click on Create Citation. And then there's your citation. And at this point, you could just copy and paste it into your Google Docs or whatever program you're using. To get out of EasyBib, just click on the X to get out of it, and you can go back to the MackinVIA at this point. MackinVIA also allows you to highlight areas in the ebook. So you can just basically highlight like you would on any other site. And when you are done highlighting, it's not cooperating. Okay. There we go. When you're done highlighting, you just click, you'll get this little box. You can change the color. So maybe I want to make it yellow. You can underline. You can even add a note. So if I want to add a note, I'll just type in, this is my first note. And then there's this little, either the X would delete it, or the little thing that looks like supposed to look like a floppy disk. You just click on that and that saves it. Okay. So I can exit out on that. You can also take the magnifying glass here and you can look up information here. Okay, so those are the different features you have, and that's really nice if you want to take notes on your ebook. Okay, I'm going to show you one more thing. If you go to Notebook, you will get a list of any notes that you've taken just on this book. Okay, I'm going to get out of this ebook by clicking on the X, and this will take me back to MackinVIA. Now, one of the things I forgot to show you is when you are in the ebooks, you can click up here and search, and you could search for a specific type of ebook. So let's say we wanted to look up all the books on ancient Egypt. We could just type in ancient Egypt, click on the magnifying glass, and it will just show you books with on ancient Egypt. Now, obviously, some of them are going to have more to do with it than others, so you're going to want to look through and make sure that the items that come up are the ones that you want. Okay. Let me show you very quickly how you can check books out and some things about that. Okay, so if you go up to where your name is, I pointed that out before. Actually, I'm going to just click real quick on where it says ebooks, so we have all of our ebooks here. Okay, so if you click on your name, you'll notice that there is a favorites, a notebook, a checkouts, a requests, and administrator would be for me and not for you guys. So if you want to add books to your favorites, this is like making a list of your favorite items. If you move your mouse above any of the books, you'll notice that above where it says open now, there's a little heart. So you can just go through and pick a few that are your favorites. So now if I go up here to where it says favorites, anything that I've added to favorites will be on a list. I haven't checked these out. These are just books that I might be interested to go back to later. I'm going to click on the back button to get back into ebooks. Now you might want to actually check one out. So let's say I want to check out this book on meiosis and mitosis. I can just go down here to where it says check out. It's that simple. And then if I go into my area under my name where it says checkouts, it will show that as checked out. So it's checked out to me. Just like a real print book from the library, you can check these items out. The nice thing about the ebooks, however, is that you don't have to remember to return. They return on their own. Now, if you have a book and you want to renew it, you are able to do that. So once it comes time to renew, there will be a choice to do that, or you can just return it early. Okay. Requests would be if there was an item that was already checked out, it will say, instead of saying check out, it will say out and give you an option to place a hold on it. So, and that kind of just goes in order by who asked for it. The notebook is another thing I wanted to point out. So if you click on notebook, this is going to show you anything that you've taken notes on. So it's not just limiting it to one book, it's anything that you've taken notes on. You can export your notes, which means that you're moving them from one place to another. And you just click on that and then click on Save to Google Drive. It will say uploading and then file saved, and then it gives you the option to open in Google Drive. If you open it in Google Drive, it actually creates a doc for you with all of your notes that you took, which makes it nice and easy if you're doing any sort of note taking for a project for school. Okay, so 7th grade, you will need to try to do some searches using MackinVIA. You are basically going to try to do the searches and answer questions the best that you can. So pay special attention to what it says on your worksheet, what types of questions you need to answer. 5th grade, you are just going to practice using MackinVIA. Okay, so you will need to practice, and both grades are going to actually submit an answer using the Flipgrid program. Okay, so if you have any questions, you should go back and explore the video again.